Has everybody updated their table of contents?
Yes.
I would love it if we would do that. It's fine. Just come in. Turn in your zombie. You're fine. Just turn in your zombie.
Wow, cool. Cool feature. Billy Business has won an award for the best.
I would prefer chocolate as the form of my trophy.
How about a
Chocolate.
high five?
I'll accept the high five.
What type of chocolate?
Coffee infused chocolate would be the thing.
Have you had the local stuff yet?
What?
I didn't get yesterday.
Should I just start?
Where are they when we're absent? Did we show you? That it's crazy that we've been doing this since the beginning of school. Alright, let's do this. So yesterday we started off by, we basically just made it to cutting these out. So hopefully you've attached now in some way, shape, or form. There are staples in the drawer. And I don't need the little sheet, I need the big sheet. And that needs to be in the drawer. Come on, wrap it up, let's go. So today we have two things that we're going to do. The first thing is we're just going to identify what parallel and perpendicular lines are. So our first learning target says, I can differentiate between parallel It's in the same place since the beginning of school. Come on, baby. Alright, parallel and perpendicular lines. So yesterday we talked about parallel at the end of class, and we said that those are like railroad tracks, the roads, paper. Did somebody say the sides of picture frames? Or is that the other class? Okay. Well, the sides of picture frames. We said that perpendicular lines intersect, correct? Does anybody know how they intersect? It's a specific way. It's at a certain angle.
45 degrees.
You're just saying stuff now.
45 degrees. 90 degrees.
Which one is it?
90 degrees.
How do you know?
I don't.
So then I need you to know to be able to get your point.
It's 90 degrees.
How do you know?
I know it's 90
What if
degrees.
it's not 90?
Like, I just remember it.
You don't.
Yes, I do.
You're just saying that.
It's either 45 or 90.
Make sure that your name and your tower is on your strip and the date.
It'd be obtuse.
It's not. It's a 90-degree angle, but you didn't know, so you don't get your point. Sorry.
I don't think so.
Okay, so first we're going to start with parallel. So everybody, please open the parallel flappy. Now, we are pulling together everything that we've learned on writing equations and slope-intercept, point-slope, everything. We're putting it all together today. I know. And it's super, super easy. Okay. It's exactly what it is. And you're trying to get the most points, correct?
Yeah. And you're using what you've worked on in the past.
Yes.
To try to get more points into the team, which is the game.
Exactly. All right, so first we're going to talk about parallel lines. What do they have in common? Who remembers from yesterday at the end of class? That's a good, take a thingy. Yeah, thanks. All right, good job. All right, so they have the same slope. Do they have the same y-intercept?
Yes.
No. You said yes.
Why? If they had the same slope and the same y-intercept, would they be the same line?
No.
Because they're parallel, right?
If I gave you an equation, all right, and I said y equals 4x plus 3. 4 is the slope, 3 is the y-intercept, correct? And then I said the parallel line, parallel, in quotes, would be 4x plus 3. Is this the same thing?
Yes.
That's the same line, so these are not parallel. What do we have to change for it to be parallel?
The X.
So,
What has to be the same?
The slope.
So what do we have to change?
the y-intercept.
The y-intercept. So this would have to be different. If we said this, y equals 4x plus 3 and y equals 4x plus 8, those would be parallel lines. They have the same slope, different y-intercept. So they have the same slope, different y-intercept. How is making the teacher to get you
He
glue?
had glue on his desk. He just didn't want to.
Right, it's in the tower.
You checked almost every single time.
I'm sorry, it's in the cabinet. Right here.
That almost hit me my eardrum.
Your eardrum is in your ear.
My eardrum.
You didn't want to interrupt the class.
Yeah, that's why I walked around.
Okay. Alright, so our first fun fact is they have the same slope and different y-intercepts. Can anybody tell me another fun fact about parallel lines?
They're not.
Now,
They have
They never touch. Take a point. Should have said it faster, daughter.
They go in straight lines.
They never touch.
And they also go in straight lines.
Yes. But we're only working, no, we're only working with straight lines right now. Did you just say you're confused? Can you put that down so that you don't get confused on the lesson? Okay. Alright, so our first example of what we're going to do today on writing parallel lines, because that's what we're doing today, is constructing parallel lines. We're going to start with y equals negative 2x plus 5. This is our first equation.
You repeat the equation. Oh my lord. Oh.
Eric, is that better? I'm going to bring you my glasses tomorrow.
I want to wear your glasses.
You are not wearing my glasses
Why does Eric get to wear
because Eric can't see.
I can't see.
I thought
I can see.
No, weirdos.
I'm colorblind.
Stop.
I don't see nothing.
That has nothing to do with anything. Alright, so I want the parallel line that passes through 3, 4.
That's alright.
So our first equation is y equals negative 2x plus 5. And I want the parallel line that passes through 3, 4. Now, we know that parallel lines have the same what? Slope. So what is the slope of our parallel line going to be? Negative 2. Take a point over there, Hufflepuff.
good job.
Well, you got
We have currently listed.
No, that's.
Alright, so we're trying to find the parallel line. We have the parallel line with a slope of negative 2 and a point of 3, 4. We know how to write an equation of a line in point-slope form. That's what we've been doing. And we have a point. We have a slope. Write that bad boy in point-slope form and be done. What is point-slope form?
Y minus y1 equals slope times x minus x2.
Take a point.
Oh, okay.
So, we have a point. We have a slope. Write in point-slope form. So, how would we start this equation off? Our new equation, how would we start it off? Braden?
Y minus 5.
Y minus 4. Awesome. Equals what? What's our slope now? Woo! That's all you have to do. We have the parallel line. We're done.
I'm so tired.
No.
That's all you do. Mazzara, we're pausing, honey.
That's it.
I see what I do.
That's your parallel line because that's an equation, right?
Okay.
And we graphed that yesterday. That's what we practiced when we were killing our zombie. We graphed that. We know how to graph that. You just take the point, you take the slope, boom, you're done.
So you just,
It's magic. Okay, so let's review what we just did. We needed the parallel line. So what do we know is true about parallel lines?
they don't touch.
They have the same slope. So to write our equation, we got our slope. Why did we choose -2 and not 5?
Because five.
5 is the y-intercept.
5 is the y-intercept. Very good. So we took our slope of -2. We have a point.
Sorry.
We have a point. We have a slope. We write it in point-slope form. So we just said y minus 4 from y1 equals -2 times x minus 3. Boom, we're done. Y'all ready to graph?
No.
No. No.
We're going to graph these.
Okay, don't answer.
Open parallel lines example. It's okay. We still have scissors. They didn't disappear overnight just because you didn't cut. So everybody calm down and get scissors and cut.
Open Caroline.
Faxing up by heart rate. Yes. Why did you stay holding the line?
Alright, we have to cut and get this together a little faster. Like, other people are already writing. Come on, guys. Let's go. Not yet.
Hang on.
This is on the blue part at the top. But don't graph yet, Tariq. Even though I know you know how. Just wait just a second.
No, you add.
Alright, are we ready?
No.
Mazzaro, I don't know what to do to make you write faster, baby, but we gotta find something.
Stop looking at her.
Right, stop looking at me and write.
I'm right.
Every time somebody talks to you, you're not writing. You're not writing. Move your hand.
Okay, our first equation was y equals -2x plus 5. So who can tell me by raising their hand and not screaming at me how we graph that? What do we start with? Shakeem?
Oh, we start with 5.
We start by going where?
Up 5.
Up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, y'all get a point.
Yeah.
All right, now, what was our slope of this one?
2.
-2. So that means that we go down to where?
The right line.
Over where, Tyreek?
Right one.
There we go.
Where that point at?
Okay,
No, I'm trying to look at the first point.
baby, the first thing we did was we went up 5.
And there.
Wait. Just wait, please. But just wait just a second.
Oh, okay.
And then we went down to right 1. Yes?
Why is mine upside down? No,
Flip it.
No, look at it.
Oh, mine's upside down.
It's like this, but my graph is upside down.
Because you put it upside down. You attached that, guys, not me.
Mine is.
Oh my God.
Mine isn't upside down.
Okay.
Mine's not
So,
even yet.
here we go. Down to right 1, down to right 1. I want at least 3 points on your graph. Baby, we're just focusing on right now, but yes.
Don't focus on too many things. I gotta give yourself a head.
Dang, that really confused me.
Yeah, I was like,
You guys did that, not me. Y'all were trying to blame it on me. Boom, Miss Asbury gets 5 points.
You should have given it to us in the correct way. Or warned us.
Do you want to lose a point?
Oh,
Is that
Okay.
your threat?
Alright, now, we have our equation in point-slope form. I want you to tell me how we can convert that to slope-intercept. So how could we write this as y equals mx plus b? What would we do? What would we do first? John?
Come on, John.
You multiply the slope by increases at the point.
You distribute. Give yourself a point.
Yeah.
Alright, so distribute first.
John.
And you get y minus 4 equals negative 2x plus 6.
What about box baton?
Now what would we do?
Add 4.
Add 4. Point. So y equals negative 2x plus 10. Where did we get that plus 10 from?
You add the 4.
The 4 plus 6.
Fantastic.
Will be point.
No.
Wait,
John, stop giving yourself points.
how do you, if it says plus 1, how do you add another plus 1? Do you erase it but plus 2?
You just circle the next one.
I can't believe that's
John, get your.
But you don't get a point.
He keeps adding it.
No! I have to give you the point. You don't give yourself a point.
I get a point.
No.
Plus 1.
No.
Alright, now, our y-intercept is 10. Do we have 10 on this graph?
No.
No. So how can we graph it?
We could go.
How can we graph this line if we don't have a plus 10? What can we do?
Well, move it down.
Mm?
Yes.
Go up.
down to over. What box design?
We're not cows.
We're not cows. Sorry.
Can you tell us now?
Yeah, we're lost here.
We know how to graph in both forms. We know how to graph.
Tom Hanson. That's way.
How did we get this? How did we get this equation?
We distribute.
We solved it.
Yeah, we saw
How did we get this?
like over.
That's what we did here, correct?
Tom Hanson.
How did we get this? What did it give us that we created this?
Coordinate.
And?
Yeah, point.
So how can we graph that?
Oh,
Find the coordinates and then get the slope.
Point.
There.
Plotting the coordinates and using the slope. So please go right 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4. Go right 3, up 4. Now, what's your slope? So what do I do?
7.
down to right 1.
Down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1.
What's parallel?
Wow.
Now, should these lines ever cross?
No.
Because they are parallel and they have the same what?
Side.
Fantastic. I'm going to have to go back and tally up your table's points because I feel like you're cheating.
No, we only have 1.
They add a point every time.
One
It's
point
amazing.
is totally
You not
different.
hear? It says Dingleberry.
I have 1. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, I just say box baton.
Durmstrang.
Box, it's box.
Dingleberry just blows off the tongue.
Alright, so let's do perpendicular. Do we have any questions on parallel? Any questions on parallel?
Box baton feels right.
Alright. Okay, what's your question?
Oh,
Okay, never mind. Okay, I'm not-
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm not.
yes, you are.
Okay, so parallel lines run side by side. They never intersect and they have the same slope but different y-intercepts. So now we're going to talk about the magic of perpendicular lines. We know that they intersect, correct?
Yeah.
Does anybody remember how they intersect? We just said it a second ago.
They cross.
I think somebody's whispering at a 90 point.
3 points to box.
No. All right, so they intersect. Yes. At a 90-degree angle. Now, if they intersect, can they have the same slope?
No.
No, they cannot have the same slope if they intersect. If they have the same slope, they're parallel and they never touch. Mizzaro, you got to think about what I'm asking before you yell stuff out. So we have to figure out what kind of slope they have. Does anybody think they might know? So if I have a line that looks like this, okay? What kind of slope is this? Positive or negative? This is a positive slope. So I need another line to intersect at a 90-degree angle. What kind of slope is it going to have, Carolina? A negative. Carolina, a point.
Yes.
So we know that we have to change the signs. Does anybody else know what kind of special thing happens?
You get 4 angles out of it.
They cross at a point? This,
Mm-hmm.
so this is what negative is also, right?
Mm-hmm. They have, we know they have to be opposite signs, correct?
Yes.
So opposite
Is that the special thing you're talking
reciprocal. Does anybody know what the word reciprocal means?
And
Shkeem?
Well, isn't it,
Hufflepuff, what does reciprocal mean?
They like switch.
They flip, yes.
Flip, yeah. That.
You get a point.
Yes.
You didn't answer.
She's a hater.
But I depended on my team.
oh.
Like LeBron.
I think all of that. No. Team defense.
Didn't we say yesterday that I was LeBron? I don't depend on y'all.
LeBron.
Let's do this.
Tristan Thompson.
No, he doesn't.
I'm not gonna joke on
I don't know what you just said.
Yeah, yeah, I ain't
He's
gonna
my
say
Kevin.
Stop. Alright, so they have opposite reciprocal slopes. So if I said my slope was 2, what do you think the opposite reciprocal of 2 is?
Negative
It's got to flip.
2. Positive 2.
1 divided by 2.
Positive or negative?
Negative.
If my first slope is 2, what would the reciprocal of 2 be?
Negative.
Negative 1/2. Take a point. Alright, if my reciprocal is, if my slope is negative 3, what would my reciprocal be?
3.
negative 1.3.
Alright, listen to what I'm saying to you.
What is his number?
My slope is negative 3. What would my perpendicular opposite reciprocal be? Raise your hand on screen with me.
1/2.
No.
Or 3.
Where y'all getting these?
1/3.
Yes.
Oh,
Take a
no.
point.
Why? That's not
Hey.
good.
Wait, what is it?
I don't get that.
Wait, what'd you say?
So, you have to raise your hand and say it louder. You whisper at me. Okay, so what I said was my slope was negative 3. My opposite reciprocal. So when I flip it, it becomes 1/3. Because what invisible number are all whole numbers hanging out with?
1.
A 1. And if you flip that, it becomes 1/3.
Why wouldn't it be a negative one?
If this is a negative 3, it becomes a positive 1/3. Because we have to have opposite signs. Yes.
Well, what is the 1/3 is 1 divided
Stop,
by
guys.
negative 3?
No, we have to have opposite signs. So if this is negative, this has to be positive. And if any part of this fraction is negative, the whole thing is negative.
Okay.
So if I said, yes,
What if the 3 is positive and you flip it, does it become negative?
if that was positive, it would become negative. So if I said 2/5, what is the opposite reciprocal?
Negative 5 halves.
Negative.
Negative 5
What?
halves. Negative 5 halves.
Negative.
Negative 5 halves. Negative 5 divided by 2. Alright, if it was 3/4, what would it be?
Negative 4
Negative
thirds.
4/3.
If it was 9/10, what would it be?
Negative 9.
Alright, so my first equation is going to be y equals 1/3 x minus 2. And I want the perpendicular line that passes through, let's do negative 1, 3. So we're going to do it together just the first time so we can make sure we're on the same page. So I want, is everybody done writing or do we need a minute? Okay.
Okay.
All right, if Mazzero's done writing, everybody should be done.
Like I wrote all that and under the
Oh no, Tater. Did you not see that we're on yellow and that's blue? Are you really? I thought you were being sarcastic. Sorry about that.
She's like, he's colorblind.
I'm not kidding. In like 4th grade, I had to go separate colors from our teacher, and I got like all of them wrong.
Oh, bless it. That's sad. All right. So first, we need to figure out what our slope is. We're looking for the perpendicular line. So who can raise their hand and not scream at me? What's the slope of our new line? Mazzaro.
Is it 3?
Back table.
Okay, so negative
Tell me what the slope is.
2.
Front table.
Negative 3 divided by what?
Negative. So it's just -3.
Oh, okay.
Wait, why?
Okay, taters.
Oh my gosh. You get a point.
Yes, you get a point. We are looking for opposite reciprocal slopes. So if our slope is 1/3, we flip that baby over and throw a negative on it. It becomes -3. Because we need the opposite reciprocal to get our perpendicular line. Now, we have a point. We have a slope. What form are we going to write it in?
Point slope form.
Point slope form. So that means that we're going to say y minus what? What's the number?
3.
Awesome. Good. I like that y'all said the formula though. Love it. What comes next?
-3
And then?
times x plus 1.
Good job. Does everybody see where we got that from?
Louise said it all.
Okay, what don't you see?
Colors.
He said he doesn't see where we got it from.
No,
What?
I
But you have to tell me for it to understand. Like, I can't just read your mind and know where the rocks are rolling around in there. You got to tell me what they're saying.
No, I'm good.
You're lying. What? Yeah, I'm dying.
Wait, if he
Hang
was
on.
lying, then wouldn't that be 5 push-ups?
Oh boy.
What?
Wouldn't that be 5 push-ups? You said if we lie to you, it's 5 push-ups.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right, guys. So we are still plugging into point slope form. This is point slope form. We have our point. We have our slope. We plug it in. You're not even looking at the board, and I'm re-explaining it. All right. Open up perpendicular lines. We're going to graph. All right, so our first one is y equals 1/3 x minus 2. Our second equation was y minus 3 equals -3 times x plus 1. Now, how would we graph our first orange equation, the one up top?
Negative.
Down 2, and then what?
Up 1 to the right 3.
Fantastic. And again, up 1, right 3. How many points do we need?
At least 3.
Good. Connect the dots. Now, we can graph it in point slope form, but I want to turn it into slope intercept. So how would I turn this into slope intercept?
-3.
Does your graph look like mine? So everybody go down 2 and then up 1, right 3. All right. So now we would distribute that -3. And that would give us y minus 3 equals -3 times x. Potatoes. -3x minus 3, correct?
Wouldn't it be plus 3 because it's 2 negatives?
But that's a positive 1.
Oh.
Now what would we do? What would we? Ham sandwich. What would we do from there?
Add 3.
Add 3.
No.
Right. So what would our equation be?
Y equals
Negative
-3x.
3x.
And that's it. Yay. Okay. Look at us go. We might have learned something this year. I'm so proud of you. I know that sounded sarcastic, but it wasn't at all. I really am so proud of you. All right, so what is our y-intercept here?
0.
0.
All right, so where do I put my dot?
Origin.
Woo! And then what do I do?
Down three to the right one.
Down 3, right 1. Now remember, we needed a positive slope and a negative slope for them to intersect. Did we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom, look at us go. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, what I would like you to do from here is please keep your notes out on your desk and put everything else away. Okay, sweet Jesus, I hope we can do this. And put it away so that if we walk around, we won't fall and die over your stuff. You just need your notes, so that's it.
So I need my pen.
You don't really need your pen. You need one pen.
I got 4 points. Are you guys happy with me? I'm smart too.
Yes, you may write on this. This is yours. Now, everybody, please listen. You have to listen to understand what's happening, or you're not going to get today's activity. Now, do you see that some of you have a point on the corner of your desk and some of you don't?
Yeah.
Okay? So, if I'm Mitchell, and I have the point on my desk, I'm going to work with the person to the left of me. Does everybody understand? And alright, so I'm going to use that point. So everybody please just watch what I'm going to do on the board. Do not write. So please tell me what your point is. Alright, so you are going to write your point on your paper. Now if you're sitting beside someone, say Caitlin doesn't have a point, Braden does. They are going to work on this point together. They are going to work on the point together. They are going to work on the point together. Does everybody see how you're paired up based on the point? You're going to work on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, then you're going to take that point and you're going to use this equation to write the equation that's parallel and the equation that's perpendicular. So if it's parallel, what kind of slope does it have to have?
Same.
So what's my slope going to be?
3.
You can all go ahead and write m equals 3 in your paper. If it's perpendicular, what kind of slope do we have to have? Negative what?
Negative 1/3.
Awesome. Then use point slope form and create the parallel line and perpendicular line. You have 3 minutes, and then we're switching. So the people without a number, without an ordered pair, switch, and you work down the paper. Does everybody understand?
No.
So Tyreek doesn't have a point. When the timer goes off, he's going to get up and go to the next station. So you're going to shift this way. Okay, you're going to
If you
shift
do
this
have a
way.
point, you stay.
If you do have a point, you stay. You just go down to the next thing and you finish on.
You have a point.
All right, ready? Now you have to move to your
Right.
this way. Okay?
So do this point, then move.
Yes, they'll move that way.
I'm saying do this point right
Do
here.
this point and then move. All right, ready? Go.